Now, I like what you have going on here, but now first of all is that when I select this, right, I'm seeing 212429. So basically, Google Material Design now depends on the kind of design system you are following. But if you are starting for a boilerplate, what you want to do is that you want to follow the industry standards. Say, for example, Google or Apple or Twitter design system or IBM design system. Now they have like different color levels for when you are working with like dark mode, right? So popularly, most people like go with Google Material Design. Like in terms of color, like Google Material Design have like a clear or well defined way of using color. So basically, you just want to type want to like this. All right. So now that you have this want to, this is the standard background color for dark mode. However, I notice that you have this orange vibe going on. So what I usually do is, right, then there's this guy on the YouTube where I learned from. I had to get his course to learn it. His name is Misko, Mizko, something like that. Sha. So I'm just going
Okay.
to I'm just going to lay it on top it like this, right? And then I will just
Yeah.
select. So you can either choose 10%, like so, or 20%, whichever one that you feel like would be best. Okay. So let's say I'm going to use like 20% now. So let me just take another rectangle. So all this stuff I used to do like what I used to start with first. Okay. So because this is like my primary color already. So if this is going to be my primary color, then this you see this is where I'm highlighting. So this is what I have there now. Okay. So by the time I select
Okay.
this, so you can see the color code here now. The color code now is 41240E. Right. I'm just gonna copy that and then use that as my main background color. Like so. Are you seeing it?
Really?
Yes. But now, if you notice, it's too high, so you can always drop it down like zero when you get something that's very close to black. Okay. And then when you're working with dark mode, you don't even use shadows at all, like at all. What you use is mode of elevation, and I'll show you very shortly. So and the mode of elevation
Okay.
is in terms of the kind of color of dark that it has or black that it has now. So let me do that again. Sorry, I'm just going to highlight that.
But for this background color, it does not look nice at
No,
all.
we are getting there. I said you can use
Okay.
10% or 20% depending on what you are going for. Are you seeing the different vibe
What
now?
did you? Yeah, yeah,
So what I did was I took this, I first did 10%, it was too much, right? So I had to change it to 5% now. Can you see it?
yeah.
So
Five
I
percent
changed to
seems
5%
better.
and then use this one as like the what's it called, like a litmus paper that I can always copy from. Right? Because if
Yeah.
I like this one, I won't be able to get it for this one. So that's why I took it here and then this is now our new color code. Alright. Now let me just quickly take you to the website. So you see the Google Material Design dark blue. So you can see the dark thing. So now the next thing is now there's a easier way to like actually change all the font at once on your Figma board. So what kind of font are you were you planning on going with? Screen and you see what I'm talking about. This is where we're talking about the dark blue, where the base color is 121212 for you can see the
Yeah.
recommended dark theme surface color, right? So I just did that
Yeah.
accent so that it will feel like it is more unified that way. Then this now I want to go to the angle of elevation I was talking about. Now, if you notice that this color, right, and this other one here at the back, so you notice this one shows what an angle of elevation, right? So this is how you do
Yeah.
shadow. So instead of applying shadow, all you just need to do is to change the color of the item that you are working with, and then you can move on from there. Okay, there was one product I worked on
Okay.
that I used that with like a lot. So this is like the way of getting it right. So this is so if you look at it like this now, this one here, right? This is the normal ground floor. Then this one is like a step further all the way through. So what I used to usually do is that I all these things I actually usually have them as presets. So I'm just gonna copy this image because this thing I used to tell people it's not about memorizing it, it's about knowing where to quickly reference it back.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people like focus their time on memorizing stuff like that. I don't do it. I don't memorize. All I just think that I remember that okay, this is where I need to get it, the idea from, and I'm going there to go and get the idea from there. So
Yeah.
So I've just paste this one in now. So if I need to take reference from any of this now, okay, so the first thing I need to do is work on my words. So if I look at this now, you have all the same levels of card already, right? And then this one too, so we still need to
Yeah.
fix your side now. Yes. So the same level now, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can see it now. It's more seamless. However, now to add that level of elevation, right? So what we just need to do is what? We take let's say this. Let's use this. So how do we achieve this? Right? So remember this is what? All you just need is what? Add white. Listen, pay attention. Add white and make sure the white is what? 5%. This is what it means. Are you listening? So remember that
Yeah.
this is our default dark mode here, right? So what you just need to do now is
Yeah.
what? Just add white on top it. So change this to white. You know the color code already. F in 6 places. Then change this one to what? 5%. Are you seeing it?
Yeah.
So this now, all I just need is what? Take my eyedropper tool by pressing I on my keyboard and then select this. You can see the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see the difference already?
Yeah.
So this is how. So if I feel like it's too much, I can go back to zero and then use like a line break to break it up. Now the next thing I was also talking about in terms of contrast is that you don't want to make your what is it called now? Both of your items the same level. This is what I mean by the same level now in terms of visual hierarchy. Like, is either you choose to make your icons more pronounced or you choose to make your text more pronounced, right? And then when you're working with
Mm-hmm.
navigation in terms of visual hierarchy and attention grabbing
Mm-hmm.
elements,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Yeah.
so in terms of visual hierarchy and attention grabbing elements, now this now is taking up is taking a lot of attention than what we have here, and the reason being that it's having the same level of color as all the other items on this screen here. And I use the
Okay.
analogy of a magazine where that
Yeah.
whereas
Yeah.
the content on that particular page in which you are on, right, is more pronounced. Then when you decide to
Mm-hmm.
now take your eye to that particular point, that is when you get to see it. So how do you make sure that now the question is how can you make your navigation be useful, however not in the way of the users, right? So
Yeah.
basically what you want to do is that you just want to take first of all, so I'm going to drop like all these steps down to 16. So I'll just press Control and Shift on my keyboard. So and then drop this down to 16. So can you remember the name of the font?
Yeah.
What's it?
By jump.
Figma it.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to do a batch edit for your font, you can right click. No, not right click. Select this Figma icon, okay, and okay, I've seen it. So when you go to edit, so you click on file, you click on edit, and then you click on select all edit, and then you click on select all same or select all same font. Okay, so because if you
Okay.
do select
Yeah.
same text properties, you know some are big, some are small, so you see select all
Yeah.
same font, right? So anything that is roboto now is showing mix, that means you have multiple fonts going on here already. So all you just need to do is now change it to that by jamboree font that you saw that you like. So by B-I
And it's
B-I.
just type it
Okay,
instead.
all right, and it's looking nice already. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, the font was really cool.
Okay, so this works. Then now going back to so we reduce the font size. So just to work on this, yeah. Now another thing to correct here is that I actually noticed that your icons don't have containers. So a standard practice is that is to make sure your icons have the same containers, right? The same height and width this time around. So what you should do is that there's a shortcut that you can do to make sure that your icons actually have the same container. So all you just need to do is right click, okay, and then you say what? Frame selection, Okay, so I will do the
Yeah.
same thing for every other one. So I will just control, I will control and shift together so that I can select everything at once.
Usually I use feather icons and it comes with containers, but I got
Yes.
this one from I think Front Awesome.
Okay.
Probably why it doesn't have.
Since 2024. 24. Okay, select. Just a moment.
Yeah.
I don't know about a bit. So I will get it manually now. Oh, sorry. Alright, so how much now? Hmm. Okay. Yeah, just write about the last one now. Four. Now, so using auto layout. So press shift A on my keyboard. Shift A. So these are like what like it makes your learning like very easy and fast.
Yeah.
Okay, and we are down to the last one. So a quick rule of thumb that I follow, right, is that if you're actually working with say a field icon, like you're using a field icon set, right? So that one should be more closer to the background color than what is it called now? Than the text. But if it's an outline, that one is going to have more prominent color than the text. So this is what I mean very quickly. So I'm just going to press Control and selecting the icons, Control and Shift, so I can select all the icons directly without having to, right? And I'll just drop the opacity. But mind you, when you drop the opacity, please remember to change the color code back. So so you can do like 10, 20. Okay. So remember to like do the color code back so that you can get it right. So I think this is the regular of this one already. So let me just select this one. Okay. And then now, so the way you pick your color for your dark blue now. So let's go back there very quickly now. The way you pick your color too.
Um, the icons. I
Yes.
sure they should be like that.
Yes, yes. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this here. See, can you see it?
Yeah, yeah,
That's if you are working with a field. But if it's just only a
yeah.
line, right? That is when it's going to like be very very pronounced. Okay. And now look at it, please. See, you know apart from you know you light glows in place of dark shadows to express evaluation. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So these are like stuff you can like quickly avoid. Okay. So and then now these I just want to like quickly show you how to use like colors on text. So I will take a variation of that, right? But something close to white and something also close to what? Color orange. Do you remember? And then we are also going to do like what is it called? A use a contrast checker to check whether we actually right or wrong. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
So then remember we want to majorly use like desaturated colors, but this is like for material team, like directly for material teams. We don't want to use something that I don't feel like is going to be okay for your color to stand out, right? So now I have this
Yeah.
color generator. Is a plugin that I use to choose the actual color for my items. So I'm just going to take this your color here now. Are we together?
What's more plugin?
Color designer, yeah. So what color designer
Okay.
does is that you know exactly what you have here like this now, where you can see your 50 to 900. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So what color designer does that? It generates a lot of colors for you in the range of that particular color. So they have a particular bulb, right? So what you just need to do is you have to click outside because you know I've selected this color before. You have to click outside and then we click this before it will generate. And sometimes you have to close it and open it back again. It's just a little bulb and bulb. So now if you
Okay.
notice, we have what just 8. So what I usually go for is 20, okay, or you can go to 24, whatever you want to achieve. So I'm just going to copy this. So you have like all this color going on here already. So this already is pure white, so you don't want to go with pure white, right? You want to go with something above that. So what I do is that I take like 4 intervals or 3 intervals depending on whatever I feel like achieving. Okay, so this is what like the colors I'm going to be using for my text. So all these ones here like this now, like here like this now, they're usually the ones that are lighter. Then all these ones here like this now are usually the ones that are for the actual accent of the color. And this is what I mean. So this is like your original color here now. If I select this, so this is like very close to your original color above it. Copy all these colors and close this very quickly. So if I'm going to be working with like say something like text now, right? I'm just going to take something very close to white, right? So this one or this one probably okay for me. So and then if I want to do like something darker, like that, we'll go on from there. Okay. So now the next thing I noticed is okay. So now to fix this one more, so I'm just going to change the spacing. So do like another adjustment here. So you have to like also determine like the kind of spacing that you're trying to go for. Are you going with 16 or 12, something like that? So let's say you're going with probably 16 on both sides, right? So right, 16. Okay, so and then I'm going to just add 2 to this one plus 2. So this 16 on both sides. Then now you also have to like think about the item you're trying to go with there. And then I like your call, but what would have been best would have been maybe 12 or 16, something like that in that range. So that's this kind of
I was
fun or playful feel. Then the next thing that you have to also determine what you're trying to go for in terms of your icon and the spacing inside the appearance. So let me just set this one to auto layout, right? And then make sure that it's centered. So I've not even done that for like all of them.
we may need to end the call, so they just took light, and I wasn't charging my phone.
Oh,
It's
okay, okay.
basically on 10%.
So I've just centered all this, right? So
Yeah.
then selecting this one too. So I'm just gonna do like tidy up. Okay. So everything is not tidy. So I'm saying that a space of 37. Yeah, so I can reduce it to say 36. No, 8.0 or 4.0, whichever one that you're going with. So
Yeah.
let me just drop this to 24. Good. So just like you can do like double or half of it, just anything that's in terms of 4.0, okay. And then I just like to add like some more spacing between all these stuffs again. That's the icon.
Someone on Twitter said I need to give them breathing space. It was hilarious.
You have to give them what?
Breathing space.
For what now?
So he was trying to say like they're too close together to jump up.
Yeah. So 16 or 24 is fine actually. Okay. So but I probably go for because of the rule of proximity. So that one also tells you that you must not pass the boundary of making sure that items that are meant to be each other should be far away. It says no. What
Mm.
it's saying is that make sure that as long as they're meant to be each other, let them be close, but don't let them like suffocate each other, right? So
Yeah.
everybody need their own breathing space. So you can say even with tweaking this alone like this now, it's a lot cleaner,
Yeah.
right? So this is like the little tweaks I said I was going to talk about, but there's no way I can like explain it like in text one after the other. It's going to take like forever.
Yeah.
Okay. So now,
But what I realized that I just am not observant enough because
yeah,
I have like about 5 to 6 dashboards on my phone, like UIs that I see,
okay,
and I just went through them and I noticed that all the icons are as close, like the colors are as close to the background as possible.
yeah,
And somehow I'd never observed that until you've mentioned it now. So
that's
I think I just need to be more observant to see, best practices and all.
yes. So that's really good. No, actually, best practice comes from like repetitive design, right? Like you design and design over and over again till your body feel numb. Okay. All right. So now the next thing I noticed is you have this here, and then this feels pretty empty. So you want to like make sure that there's something here. So what advice you do is that maybe you have your what's it called now, your hamburger menu or something, just to make sure that this place is not empty. Okay. So what you can do is that why don't you just like put the user's name, since it's not a collapsible
The
bar,
ground.
right? You can just put the name here. Okay, you can put the
Yeah.
icon here. So just to make sure
That
that.
was my plan, right?
Oh,
But
okay.
then the entire space, like where you took the user away from, it's
Yeah.
now empty.
Yes,
Do you
yes.
understand?
So what you could do is that, so since you have your home here, right, you could just call it home again, like so.
Okay.
So it's just more of like
Okay.
an improved indicator, right? So it shows them that okay, this is like the actual page you're on your own home page, right? So I'm just gonna make this bold. That's it. That's it. So I press Ctrl B on my keyboard. Now what I noticed is that it actually has like a good letter spacing. Okay, like when it is bold and big.
Mhm.
So like this one is actually nice. I think of one of my designs to work with it. So now next thing is, so you can see that this is already feeling like alienated. So I've gone ahead to remove the shadows, and you cannot still like, you can like notice that there's no shadow here. However, it's feeling very different and far apart. So the next I want to go with for is actually like 7% or 8% overlay. Okay, just so that it stands out from this, right? So since we're going 8 point with this, better we just go with 8%. So I'm gonna come back here, right, and then change this to what, 8%. Okay, cool. So now I'm just going to select one of these like so. People can allow me to select it now. Right. So now I'm going to select this. Okay. So this is our color code. Are you following? So just by changing the
Yep.
colors alone or some little elements, you start seeing this kind of clean design, right? That users can work on. And you can see the vibe now. It's all around. Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So you can see the vibe now. So I just by what changing the color a bit, and it looks more what in harmony. Now the next thing is the headings, right? So I noticed that you're not following the same pattern. So what you do is that because of the rule of repetition, right, you have to like follow the same pattern for your headings. So that's why I'm just going to be very quickly. So I see that you're using 35 here. So 24 would have been great, and then having like 16 or probably 20 from the top is also cool. So I'm just gonna use.
How do you search or see the distance from an element to, for example, the top
Yes,
now?
yes, yes. So when you press on your keyboard, you actually hold alternate. Like select the item first. When you select the item, like so, just hold alternate on your keyboard, and then put your mouse on the edge of whatever item that you want to see the space is far away from. So if I put it on this edge here, like so, oh, put everything together. So let's say I want to check. Let me undo everything. Okay. So let's say I want to check the space between this and this, like so. Can you see it? Just the edge of
Yeah.
this one here. Are you seeing it? 407
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. But make sure that you don't remove your hand away from where, from the alternate
The alt.
yeah,
Yeah.
keyboard. So I'm just going to press alternate 24. So I still have 17 here. So I'm still going to.
I need to go now.
Okay.
Oh shit.
So I'm still going to
Sorry,
change this to
but thanks
24.
a lot, though. Thank you for everything you've shown me.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
no problem. No, when I finish the design, I'll send it to you and then I'll show you the video.
Alright,
Okay.
thank you very much.
Yeah. But you can drop on the corner. Okay. So, like I was saying earlier, so these are you check this space by holding alternate on your keyboard. Alright. Then now the next thing I notice is your. Okay, let me just try and fix all those edges first and then we'll go move from there. So, but before that, let me look at your font size. Okay, so I'm seeing 24 here, right? So I want to drop this down to say probably 20. Okay, and let me know that thing that I can use, can follow like something more reduced. So it's not dragging attention with the home icon, right? So that there's this sense of visual hierarchy. So what I'm using to select everything at once like this now is I'm holding Control and Shift on my keyboard, then I'm using my mouse to click on everything. So I'm dropping all this down to 20, and then every other element I'm going to use will probably 18 and below. So now the next thing is looking at the space, right? So and I also noticed that you're using shadow here, so I'll probably just do the shadow again. So and then just expand. You can just let this card to like take the same space. So if you remember, we are working with say 2024, so this place is going to be 24. So that's minus 3, okay, minus 2. So you can also do like minus plus anything, addition, multiplication, and it also works perfectly. So, and then I'm still going to need to, so this is, I have 24 here already, so I can leave that so I'll just have that every other item here will be that, or I'll just make this one 20, depending on whatever I'm trying to achieve. But I'll get to that very shortly when I look at every other element and then try and put them in place. So I do this, I'm just going to take it very close to the edge. So the same idea again, so I'll probably drop this onto like 16, right? And then at the bottom, make it 16, so this far away, this 19, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 15.2, 16.2, okay, that's okay. Then we'll do the same thing for all of this here, right? So I noticed that you're using like this orange with this. So actually, what I would prefer is for you to invert it. So invert this color. So what you have going on here, so I'm just going to take this other one and shift it this way, and then take the other one on the left and shift it this way. So like it has this kind of vibe and balance that it's on the dark mode. However, it's actually really clean and cool to look at, right? So that's what doing. I'm just going to take this up here, then kind of like crank this up a little bit. However, I'm still going to put this one like backwards. Not so much. Okay, so put this on here. So then put this on here. It has that kind of dark mode vibe because you don't want to put too much color in your just like when you're working with dark mode. Okay, so instead of doing that now, so the next thing I can do is remember our rule of elevation, right? So I'm just going to add the color to it on top of it, and then I'll take that, and then now remember we work with 8%, right? So the next one I could do is 9% or 11%. So I'm just going to work with 11%. So change this to 11%, right? And then select this, okay. We take our eyedropper and select this color. All right. So we have this kind of vibe here already. Okay. So since we don't want it to sink to the background, so what we'll probably do next is that we could reduce it a bit, say like 60, okay, or 50. So our card is still present, but now it feels like it's still sinking in. So you can still like want to increase the elevation and so on and so forth. So instead of dropping this one to 50, right, I can still take it all the way to 80, right? And our card seems to be coming along. Okay. So some of these things sometimes like there's no like system to it, right? So what you just actually have to focus on is how is it visible, but you also think about the accessibility because if you look at it right now, right, it's like it's sinking into the background and you don't want that. So what you probably don't want that, so I can just take like all the way to like say 14% overlay or all the way to 16, which I'm going to do now. So I'm just going to change this to 16% overlay. Okay, and where's it at? All right, and then I'm going to select this and then select this again, like so. Now you can see that what the card is actually what standing out like a lot better, right? So the next thing is I can now drop this to like 90, okay, and then so having like this sort of linear. So let me just push this on all the way now. So instead of having like this sort of 0%, I'll just probably change this. So well, just a little bit like 46, and then take this one to close up here, like so. Then bring this one to close up here. So that's this kind of glowy kind of vibe, but not really serious like that, all right, so that our card is visible and then you can still see it. And so the next thing is also now to start working with a little bit of contrast, right, for your say plus icon. So this one now like should have like multiple states. So we have all over, like when you take your mouse on the tissue, that's when it should come out bright. So how do you then fix that too? So what you can do is that probably you want to just start with like testing it out. Okay, so what I recommend is like just test it, and then when you get the correct color for it in terms of color contrast, right, then you can now work with it. So there's this normal format that Google automatically gives you. So it says test with 87%, I think probably 52 or 53% or 50%, and then the next one is 37%, depending on what you're going for. So I'm going to go with 87, but it's like it's actually more pronounced. So probably I'm going to use 67. So something that's not too well pronounced. And then now the icons, now remember your icons have to be consistent. So we've been using by my calculation, and so we have 24. So we have to use what, the same pattern. So it's easy so that when we are transferring those assets, it's easy for the whoever that is working on the product, right, as a developer, we make some of this handing over to the developer like a lot much more easier for the developer. Okay, so that being said, okay, I'm looking at this now. I'm feeling like this is like a lot of white space here, right? So what if we make it what if we make it instead of 24, right? What if we make it just 22, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 20, and then increase this to account for that. And then let's also do that for this. So we have 23 going on here already. So 20, and then increase this to account for the extra space. And then also increase this. So we have 4. So I just need to add 4 to the height of this um, payment card. And then we have this. So I think we're probably good to go. So the next thing we just need to work on now is just uh, the height. So we still have 20 going on here already, so which is cool. 21. So I'm just going to drop that very quickly down a bit, like so. All right, and then I'm going to highlight this, and then we have 20. So we have like 2020 on all sides, so 19 here, and then drop this down to 20. So now the next thing I talk about was also visual hierarchy. So I noticed that you have 22,000. So the user wants to actually like the actual balance, which is like very important to them compared to this. Okay. So what you can do is that instead of having all this in the user space, right? So you can like drop all these ones down. So I'm just going to press the scaling tool, and it's actually here. Okay, scale. Okay, but make sure that you actually change it later. If you are going to be exporting the asset as a picture, and then it's only this one like being placed, then there's no need. But the problem that you also have to deal with as the when you are handing off to the developer is that you have to export all these things as pictures, okay, instead of text that the user can use, and they also have to deal with like screen size issues and scaling. So I'll probably like leave this under like normal fonts that I'm going to use so that when it comes to scaling, it will be a lot more easier and cleaner. So I don't want to do like too much edit, just little tweaks to just make sure that it comes out nice. Okay, so I think this is the text, this is like the only text there. So I'm saying 16 here, so I'm just going to drop down to like 14 and then take all of the elements, right? Make sure I'm on my scale tool and then scale everything down. Okay, like so. So I'm saying, so I can use this one to measure now. So I'm saying 11.6. I don't want that, so I'm just going to increase this a bit, say 12. Okay, 12 looks tiny, so if I can just get it back to it being 14. All right, so 13 in terms of visuals now, like how nice it is. It's actually very cool. Okay, so then I can drop this one down. All right, so next time I want to do is I want to crank up the sizing of this because like our main balance, then I'm going to make it bold, like really bold now, so that it's actually like more visible to the eyes. Okay, so you don't want them to feel like the actual card that you want to use. So I'm just doing like a little trick. So I'm using this one as a visual point of view, like this, like an underline, a straight line. Okay, and then I'm also going to be changing this one to bold. Okay, because you also want to show the user like when the card actually expires. Okay, so that in case they have to like quickly change the card, so they can quickly see it from the get go that they know that okay, this card needs to be changed. So now moving on. Uh, the next thing I noticed is okay, now your color, right? So I've talked about this color before. I said that probably don't want to use like absolute pure white, so you could use like 87, okay, which is cool, or you can look for something close to that. So if you use absolute pure white, it's even like the entering the user space, and that's what you like. You really need to actually avoid. Okay, so let me see the rounding we are doing here. So since 20, so I'm just going to drop this down to 16, okay, and then do the same for all of these. 16. All right, and then let me see. I said you have a space of 25, so I'm just going to drop this down to like 16 too. 16. So just to increase, okay, reduce it a bit to make sure that you have 16. So I'm looking at this width and I'm seeing 200 and 375. Okay, so I'm just going to select these two and then make them to 375. Cool. Then make sure that's properly aligned. And then in terms of right, so you actually got like the height alignment already. So now moving on, the next thing, remember that the vibe we actually had going on here was 20. This is meant to be 20, right? So all I just need to do now is just minus 1. I can just change it. So the next thing I have to do is I have to make sure that I also do the same thing for this. So this is 27, 1 to 3, change this 2. Right. So now the next thing is all of this. Let me just quickly change the contrast a bit, color contrast a bit. So I'm just going to select all of this like so. Okay. So let me just first change it back to so I was working with 18. Is it 18 or 20? Okay, I think 20 is better, so you can see the heading clearly, right, for the users. So but some users now they actually like have a way of like changing the sizes they want for their heading tags or everything in the Chrome browser. They can actually like do a settings for it since this is a web app. So I'll use 18. So okay, now I can start trying to make sure that they are all in place. So what I can do is I can push this so we have 20. Okay, cool. Now the next thing is the name and the text, and then the amount that they sent or they received. Okay, so this one I remember, so I'm just going to delete this, copy this. So okay, I think I'm going to copy and paste like multiple times. So that's what I'll probably do right now. Okay, So I'm just going to paste in place and then bring it all the way down here. Okay, and remember, we are going with this vibe of 2020, so I'm going to select this. So change it back to 20 to 3, 4, right? And then make sure that this is aligned to the top. Okay, so I'm just going to select these two and then bring them all the way to the edge. So, and then make sure that the spacing is what? 20, all right? And then I'm just going to duplicate it again one more for this spot here. Okay, so make sure that it's 20. Cool. So then try and do the same thing for this. So we have 18, 25, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, then select every other text and then just basically align them to the top. Right, so I'm still going to select this and then make sure that they're all on 20. Cool. So, and then this one now you have to make sure that they are always right aligned. So even for me, I'm saying left aligned, so you want to make sure that they're right aligned so that whenever you align them to the right in terms of numbers, right, it actually works very well. So just going to select these three and then on that text, right aligned because they are numbers. So you only make sure that you right align numbers. All right. Now the next thing is to actually start fixing some of these text, right? So you want to make sure that you can see whoever you send stuff to, right? So I'm just going to make this bold, okay, like so. And then I'm just going to drop the font size, okay, so they're already on 14, so which is actually like really cool, okay. So, but is it the question is that is it actually a better way of like making sure that all these items feel like they are more into each other? So you could actually introduce lines, right, like so, or you could actually introduce like their own individual boxes. So what I do is that I actually always use auto layout. So I'm just going to select this, right? Put it inside this one auto layout. Then select these two, put them inside their own auto layout. The reason why is because I want this one to be far away from them as possible. So I'm going to select this one too. Also put aside what its own auto layout. And I'm going to set a spacing, all right? Like a padding inside it, just a little bit. So I've centered that. I'm going to drop this one to 0. That's between there and I'll boom and the date, okay, and then change this to 0. Cool. Then and then I can now set like a space, the amount I think by increasing it this way. So I have 22 going on here, so I still need plus 2 and I'll be fine. Now but notice something that on both sides now there's this kind of uh this like empty space on both sides. What I can do is like instead of doing that I can just paint what space between and then they take up the entire space. Okay, and that's how you try and align stuff properly in this thing. And then I notice that this is far from this, okay? And remember the kind of vibe we have going on here already. So we can do like the idea of repetition again. So we have 16 pixels, right? So we do the same thing for this. So the entire system feels more unified and unique. So notice that when I selected this now, right, it's showing auto. The reason is because I changed this from path to space between, and that is because according to auto layout, right, it is the present child that's going to be looking at. So what I need to do now is that I need to double click to select this particular auto layout because you can put auto layout inside another auto layout and so on and so forth. So I'm just going to drop this to 16, okay, like so, or probably drop it like by half, so it feels very close to the picture. Okay, so we're still going to go to like final process like one more time for this, okay, let's go very quickly now. So I'll go ahead and fast forward the video so I don't have to watch the process again. Okay, so now we have this. But now the problem I started noticing again was the colors that you use, right, to show your negative icon and this thing. So this now you have to actually like give an eye stress over time when you're staring at this kind of color. So what you want is that you want to use a contrast of this, right? But I don't want to do like an overall, right? I'm just going to do like a contrast of this just to reduce eye stress. So I can either choose it to take to the dark side or take to the lighter part. All right, it's just something like that. Okay, and then make it bold so it's easy to see. Now I'm going to do now, so I'm just going to make it bold. And then the same thing for this one too. So I'm just going to do that so that because of the eye strain that might affect the users, right? So that's why you just want to just take them, just add white to it. And then mostly I actually use HSL. So the easiest way of doing it that all you just need to work, just change the lightness, right? So I can just keep increasing it until I feel like oh something like very okay. So if I do like say probably 85, okay, so I still have that red vibe going on there, right? But it's not there's no, this ice cream is no longer there, which is very okay. However, if I wanted to go like on a whole new level, right, I'll just add like a shape to signify for sending and for receiving, okay. So I don't want to do like a complete overhaul, I just want to do like little tweaks that you can do to improve your design very quickly. Then now I notice you have your report going on here, so I'm just going to help you to adjust this. Wow, all these numbers are like jam packed. So I'm just going to, so anytime you have to like duplicate and duplicate, you don't need to go to that straight, just hold control down, then select the item, and then you can just change this from fixed width to auto what? Auto width, so that it works just at once. So I'm going to select this, like so, and then change this to auto width, select this, and change it to auto width instead of fixed width, right? And then we are good to go. Okay. So now the next thing is I see your point graph here. So the same thing, I'm just going to shift it all the way to the left. Remember, we're working with 20. So you get that right, that's cool. So 20 and 20, 1, 2, 3. Awesome. So now the next thing is let's look at the we change our icon. So we have 24 going on here. 24, 20, 22, 2, plus 20, 20. Okay. So now we have that in place. Now the next thing I just need to kind of pull this one. So and then I think there's still another mark somewhere. Uh, just a moment. Okay. So this is it. So we have 24 plus 4 plus 4 plus 8. So we have 20, right? So this side I'm noticing something here. So I'm just going to press Control on my keyboard so that I can control one of the sides here. 17, then minus 2. I'm trying to center it inside that particular item. Okay. So we have 20, 19, and then add 1. Like so. And then if you have 20, oh, minus actually, minus 2, 20, 20, and then at the bottom we have 24. So we want to fix that, so right? So I'm just going to push this 1, 2, 3, 4. I will still come and adjust this one for later. Okay, so that everything is now like well aligned. So moving on, notice you have this going on here. So this is more of like a user experience, right? This is more of like UI and then usability in terms of visual hierarchy. Okay, so you have your budget here, and then you are trying to. I noticed that maybe you're trying to show the amount of cash that you have as well as some of the items that makes up and that totals this cash, right? That you have here for your budget. So I'm just going to work on the contrast again. So just like what we have going on here, right? So we have this 18. So the one that probably follow it now is so if you want this one to be like more pronounced as I'm thinking that you want the money and the stuff to be more pronounced. So what to do is that I take this off like so, and then make them bold, right? And then now let's look at the front side. So we have 24 here. So we can do get away with this by making this one 24, right? So another idea of repetition going on there. Say then this 16, make this one 20, then make this one what 20. So now the next thing I notice is that you have uh this line here, which is not needed, so I'm just going to remove it. Okay. So now the next thing is you want to show a clear demarcation. So actually, you can actually like use spacing to already show like a clear demarcation. So I'm going to put all these items first inside auto layout, right? Then select these two items again. The same process like we did earlier. Okay. I'm just going to change everything to 317. Just drag the size, repeat, drag repeat, and then change to 317. Alright, and then try and center it. This 17. Make sure to change it to space between. So you have to keep on guessing the amount of numbers that you use to check the space. Center that, and then 317. Okay, then select these two elements and change to what? 317. And then space them out. So make sure you remember space between. Don't want to do that mistake. Okay, and then remember that all text by pressing Ctrl and Shift to select everything is what right aligned. Okay, cool, awesome. So now at this stage, I just tend to like repeat the same thing over and over again just for to help us grow better. And then so I'm just going to do this by tidying them up right, and then so I have 37 going on here. So I think 24 is going to be like a good white space already for it. And then now, so what I can do is that since I have this as catch right, I can come with like another rectangle and put it inside it. So that one I'm going to do very quickly. So just to show another form of like demarcation. So I'm just going to change. Remember our thumb here. So we have this color going on here. So that's what I think I'm probably to put in place here, right? So I'm just going to add a fill color and then change it to this, right? So you can see that this actually like vibes well to this. So I'm just going to push it up a bit, okay, and then make sure that this contains like everything. So, and then we have 20 going on here. So I'll probably do like 10 or 18, whichever. Okay, and now mind you, we want to make sure that this item right is actually starting on the same level as this. So you have to be very, very careful about that. So and then remember the rule of spacing, right? So you just want to make sure this top here, this top here, all right, has this idea of 16 pixels from top, like so, and then you're good to go. So if I probably check it like this now, I can check how far it is away from here. So you can see I'm still maintaining that idea of 20. Okay, so that means now instead of using 16, I could use 10. But I have to also check that this is what 10, so that it makes up what 20. So I'm just gonna push that up. 1, 2, that's 10, right? So let me check something not right here. Okay, so now we have our 20. Then the next thing that we can do is spacing on maybe 12 or 22. So let's make that 20 on 2, 20, and then this one should be, and push this one up a bit like so. So in case that there's any other thing that we may be thinking of adding to this, right? Just to make, so this is another way like adding that idea of demarcation. Now the next thing is actually, we use like elevated form, so which is not what we actually need. So what we should do is that we could probably drop this down to say instead of 16, right? So let's go to back to our 8. So let's use 8. Okay, and then I'm going to take the eyedropper to make sure you select this, right? And then take the eyedropper to, and then select this, okay? So that's okay. Good. Let me not show you. One moment, please. Oh, okay. So this is 5, right? So and probably we started with something. Oh, one moment. So this is, oh, we're using. I'm just trying to check what we're using earlier. I thought we were using 5. So let me change it back to 5, and then try and like compare and contrast a bit. Oh, we're using something actually bigger. So I'm just going to quickly drop that, like everything again. Because the elevation that we're using is actually like very, very high already. So we don't need that much elevation, right? So I'm just going to select this and then awesome, awesome. So now this now can stand out again like so. Okay. So let me change this back to all content. So it all the content from both height and bottom, right? And then the next thing we want to do is make sure that they have like the same both height and bottom. So we have 10 above, we have 10 above, we have 10 at the bottom too. Okay. So that works, right? Now this actually is going to have to close up. Alright. So now the next thing is now you have to think about it. So if you are going to have like this kind of like financial advice or something like that, you probably have to think of a better way of representing that, which I'll show you. shortly. So now the next steps we want to consider is okay. Actually, like what you already have going on here already for in terms of your subscription, right? It's just an idea of your spacing. Like I said, this now can actually cause eye strain, right? Because it's not like a white background or something. So you should probably research on colors for dark mode, or you could use something palish, right? Or just like an icon, like what you have going on here, right? That you can use to represent something that is due. So let me just do that very quickly. So I'm just going to take this and change it to say variant of red. So just push it all the way to the left like so, and then I can bring a notice icon. So let me just use iconify. Iconify. I can do say something like caution, just search for caution, or alert. Just like the icon, and then you can do alert, right? So we don't want to like scale your user so much. So I probably go with something like this because I don't like scaring my user like okay, so because you are late on payment or stuff like that, right? You'll actually like be punished. So we don't want to do that actually. So let me just drop this down like a lot. Okay. So let me close this. So I think 16 should be fine. Okay. Then I'm just gonna add like a sorry, I'm gonna add a frame. Right click. So I'm going to group it rather. So I'm going to add another group. Oh, it's already grouped already. Let me see. Control G. So and then I'll now add an auto layout on top of it. So the reason I do that, I usually group because if you make it an A-frame and then you actually do auto layout on that, it's going to like disorient that. But I actually use group it first and then I'll use auto layout so that I'll be able to control the auto layout easily, right? With this. So I'm just going to set this to 8, like so. Then change the background to what we have going on here, right? So I'm going to copy the color again and then select uh, this main item and change the color to that. Okay, and then now the next thing is I'm just going to drop the main background color. I'm just going to drop that like drastically, like 10%, okay, or 15%. Okay, then make this all circles. So you do like 50% of your stuff or whatever it is, and then you just convert it to a circle, like so. Okay, so this looks like a lot nicer, and then you don't have to do this instead of doing this right. There's a better way of this. So it's also the same idea I'm going to like use with this. Okay, if I wanted to, so just so that it allows the user to know exactly what is going on. So instead of like going with this, especially on the dark mode. Okay. So remember, we are working with what? 20. Okay, so this is 20, right? So I'm just going to drop the color. Okay, so now this is due. So I actually don't really need this colon, right? And then you can actually put them in just one single element, just using a space, right? And then I'll probably do like small letter for this. And you also add like more if you want like more spacing already, since we already know it's LinkedIn, then you can do like put it in front of it and then just make it like slightly the same color, right? So remember, we could do 87 and after 87 we could do like probably 50 something, so I can do like 50. So I just like freestyle, but I've not like really defined the color properties for everything. But I'm going to define the color properties for everything. It's going to like take me a lot of time, so I just want like just some contrast issues that you can just probably like quickly fix and then make your work look a lot nicer. So I'm just going to make this bold, right? The amount I'm meant to pay, and then just put everything in place. Okay, like so. Then do the same thing for this for DSTV. So we select everything and then add another auto layout. Select everything and add another auto layout. Select everything and add another. Yeah, then make sure that you center all your elements like so. Select this one, center it, and select this one, center it. Delete this. Alright. Now the next thing is to make sure you have the same space. So we have 20 and 20, so I'm just going to increase this by 2. So 335, so select all 3. Drag on the right. So and then we have which is 335. In case you want to do like a bit follow along, right? Then make sure centered properly. Okay, and then you want to just so you can also like design another auto layout, right? So that the adjustment is a lot more easy. So 16. Then I can probably take this one up like so. Okay, and then we can push our loads here now. You can see that I've helped you to reduce the amount of space you're using. So this is 20. So okay, so now let's go back to the top and then start fixing some of the spacing issues that we had earlier. So if you look at this now, we have 20. So we have to increase it. So probably just increase the height a bit. So change it to 20. So okay, 3 in terms of height. So it's okay. Increase the height by 2. Then push it up. Let's see. Okay, cool. So after that, then we're going to do the same thing for this. So this is 25. So I'm just going to push this to 20 like so, and then tidy this up, right? So we have 26 going on here, so I'm going to drop this to. So but if I drop it down, it's going to affect our spacing, so we're still trying to like try and figure that out later. So but for now, let's just make sure that everything is equal. Okay, so we have 24, so we do 28 in terms of spacing. I should be able to get 20 here, 20 at the top, 20 at the bottom, left and right. Cool, so that works. So then now the next thing is to okay, I'll probably change this report map because I don't really like this kind of visualization. It's kind of boring. So we want something like more playful. Since that's kind of like the vibe you're going for. This is like just serious and old and gives that kind of good vibe. Okay. So we're gonna take this right and then reduce the height. And we're still gonna achieve that same level of 20 pixels. Okay. So I'm just trying to like add some balance to it and everything so everything feels cool. So okay, I'm not changing this, so I need to change that too. Okay. So notice that some of the items they have like pure white. So we're still going to change everything so that everything not going to have pure white. But for now, let's just so I'm trying to like just go back and forth to mix and match, right? But you can do like a follow along, and this could actually help you to like fix your UI. So you can see how you can think through a problem, especially when you have to do like your UIs. Okay. So remember when we have this, right? So we can actually like just borrow from this and then put in place here. It's like almost the same pattern, right? So I have this date taking. There's only for the color, like I said earlier. Just this, and then make this one smaller. It's taken. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy this, put this in place, then copy this, paste this here, delete that. Cool. Then I can delete this, all of this. So pay kids row of so I'm selecting all of this now, deleting it. Okay, cool, awesome. Now the next thing is you have this here, right? So I think this is more like a better vibe for this. Then I don't know the so let me just check very quickly. So you have 24 for your spacing, okay? So this is 14, so you have to probably fix that. So we could actually do instead of 24, we could do 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like so, right? So this is 21, that's 20, but now I have to check. So this is 10 already, okay, which also works very well, but we have to change this to 20. 14 plus 6. So that's 20 now. So that was fine. Then this one now, so we can put this one down a bit. And then remember we're doing what? 20. So we're going to select this two. Okay, so let me just select all of this. And then you can put them their own auto layout. So I'm just going to put this one like it's another auto layout and then select this two, it's another auto layout, and then this two, it's another auto layout. Like so. Now just going to make sure that they're the same um, top, right? Align to the same top. And then the spacing we have going on here is 16. So we have this 16 and 25 going on. Then select this two and then make sure that align to the top. Okay, cool. So now that we have that there, so just select this one, then make sure that they're both 20, 20, 20 on all sides. All Alright, so then I noticed that you have your saving target and your target rate. So this one I'm just going to drop it down. Just drop it down. Okay. And then so let me see how you try to achieve this. So I actually just going to make your caps around it. Okay, as well as so instead of doing something like this, right? I delete this again and then just copy this one and paste it and then I bring out the entire circle. So how do I do that? So I actually grouped like a lot of elements together which is unnecessary. So I'm just gonna quickly ungroup all of that. Okay, or I'll just like come on my own circle. So let me just come on my own circle. So I'll just create a circle. So we now have to do it on Figma. So I'll create a circle like this. And then now when you create a circle on Figma, you can have this arc. So you can just quickly like kind of like break it all up immediately. Okay, and it's very useful because you know how to like set the exact number you want for your shape. So let me just start the sweep with. So what sweep does is that it actually lets you to calculate from 90 all the way to 0 degree, whichever way whichever you want to go, right? So I'm just going to do something like this right now. Reduce the size and then add border radius to it so that the corner is smooth out. Okay, and then I'm just going to set, so we have 75% and this is why this sweep is very interesting. So I'm just doing this to 50%, like so, right? And then I have this already. So what I can do is that I can now choose to change my start to the beginning, right? So my start should be probably starting from minus 90 degree. Okay, so you're only now, okay, what of the other half? How am I going to get the other half? Very simple, just to begin this one to second V, right? And then change the sweep back to what? To something full. Okay, so now that your sweep is full, what you just need to do what? Drop down the color. So I'm still going to select the same color, right? But this time I'm going to drop down the opacity all the way to the color again. Okay, and then take it backwards. So now oh, it's not. So instead of using this color, I don't remember that I actually have this one going on here for the background. So I'm going to select just the color code. Okay, for that, alright, and then I'm going to take this and then take the primary color back. Alright, then now we have your text. You're going to bring that all the way to the top by pressing command and the greater sign key. Okay, now that it's at the top, I can now center it in the middle. So just make sure that it's properly centered. So now that it's centered right to the top, so good. Then now I can adjust this. Okay, and then the next thing is I need to adjust it. So you don't need to work with use colors, right? So what you can do is actually like use contrast also fix stuff like this. So now you can now choose to now group all of this together. Okay, so now that they're all grouped together, then you make sure that it's on 20. So then bring this down 20 and make sure that the bottom also signifies 20. So you have to also work on that too. So we can have 22, 20. Then let's look at the top. So now I've seen 23. So what you can do is you can just take this, so just increase it a little bit, right? So we have 130. So if I make it 132 by 132, okay, so that should give us something much better. So 1, 2, so 22 and 21. So this will be like 132.5 and 132.5. If I take it now and push it up by 1, right? So I have 20 here and I have what? 20.5, which is okay. So then the next thing is make this one bold, okay, and then drop this one out. So this is 14 right there, and then I can do make this one 16. Okay, same thing for this. So 14, make this one bold, 16. Okay, so I'm just going to select this two, know that those related to each other. Change the direction of the other to what? To vertical direction. Okay. And then since I'm using my 4-point grid like a lot, so that's what I'm trying to do. So okay, this is already out of the layer, so let me just turn it back. Vertical direction, and then go to 4. And we have this. So what you now the idea is that these two now they're actually going to be this is going to be like their own market starting point, right? This is where I'm going to center around. So what you want to do is you want to select these two. Select these two like so, right? And then make sure that the spacing is probably 16 or 8 or so, whatever you're trying to achieve. And then select this one with it, okay? And then what, make sure that what they are all centered to each other. Now you can see that our design is already coming together a lot neater and nicer to the eyes. Okay, and then now the next thing is I'm not forgetting about amount left, but I don't deal with that shortly. So the next thing is remember that this now you have this color going, this type of color going here. So I'm just gonna change that very quickly, right? Like so, and then put this one here and take this one to the top. Okay. So the next thing you have is your financial advice. So this is 18, this is 18. So remember we're working with this 20 pixel type, right? So I'm going to do very quickly 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, right? And 1, 2, good. So this one says try to enjoy life, right? So I'm just going to drop the opacity. So Now the next I notice that you press enter here, right? So this one you don't need to press enter actually. What you can just do is you could use what we call the paragraph text, right? So this okay, you use paragraph text, okay, you probably press enter normally. So now the other thing I noticed is your line height. So what you want to do that in order to fix your line height, right? What you can do is that you can use the type scale rule. Like I'll go to type scale, type that scale, just come and see the kind of rule that is needed for you to try and achieve whatever you want to achieve, right? Or better still, you can just come ahead to what changing this directly by adding maybe um, times 1.125, right? Or times 1.5, that's double of it, or 1.125. So that which is the one I use like most of the time. So I'm just going to do 20. So you're going to take like the exact font size, right? Multiply by times 1.125, like so, press enter. So it will give you this level of hierarchy, and then you can always like try and round it off to the nearest whole number, like so, right? So now the next thing I notice is that it's sitting like very, very, very close to what's it called, and it is the idea of like the paragraph, right? So how do I quickly fix that so that so because I press back, okay, press back 2 times, okay, and then we have this. So you can probably say increase this to like say, so I can do like say I can change it to double, right, times 1.5, okay, and I have this more meter free or freer space. So then the next thing now is to look at, okay, so it's to try and do one more fix, which is this. So amount left. So how do we then put this? So what you can just do is actually that you can just put this 40,000 here, like so, in place. Or better still, what you can do is not fix this. So we have 21 here, and the idea is 20. Yes. So I'm gonna do that for this to 20. So this is 15, 19, 18, 19, 20. Okay. So every time I'm doing it, it's more like trying to error, not like this is like a React video or something. Okay, then since something is missing, so I have 20 instead of 16. I want to be sure that this is well properly aligned, right? And then this one is wrongly aligned, so I'm going to align this to the right. Okay, and now one more thing. So we could do amount left. So this column I just like try and avoid it like something. So if you have this already, right? So how then do you now fix this in this kind of limited space? What you could do like actually like place it on top of it, like so. Okay. Then now this one I'm just gonna drop it like say 14, and then look for how well it's going to sit in terms of both design and in terms of code. So you could have amount left. Or better still, what you can do is that you can take this. So instead of having this, so you can bring this on and pull it down just for you to test and see whether it actually works, right? And then you can now always find another way to like a better way to like fix it. So you can have amount left and then put this on this other side here, like so, right? So I think we're still going to correlate. So this 335, I just need to center this on this, yeah. So and then look at this 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. So now, so amount left, I can have something like this, right? So, or we could probably do something like an invoice. So if you have amount left, have date taken and then put the date here and stuff like that. So that one I'm just going to do very quickly. So just to like buy more space, like going to take a lot of space, but still trying to like buy more space at the same time. So, people fees. So I like center this. Okay. Let's see. So the kind of vibe we're going for is like we're giving the money more hierarchy compared to this, and then we have this date taking. So instead of making something like I'm gonna make this capital letter back, and then I will have like above every other thing. Okay, so this is like last. So date taking. Hmm, amount left. So what I probably will do is I'm going to reduce the height of this. So we have 13 going on here, so I can probably reduce to like 8. It's too tiny. I'm going to give it 10 or 12, most likely 12. Then try and increase this. So because we're trying to like make sure that we have that same balance amongst the entire design and still try and maintain the use of space without anything being looking cluttered, right? So what we can go ahead to do now, we already have this kind of vibe of people reading from left to right, so we cannot like try and break things up. Okay, so what we cannot go on to do now is that we can take this, all right, and place it at the top, and then take this and add it like other summaries that we can use. So we can put this, sorry, take this underneath this, like so. So remember, this has to be 20. So it's more like a global scope that somebody can just quickly use. Okay, 20. But now we have to sacrifice the space for something to make sure that this actually works like a lot well, like a whole lot well. So what kind of vibe do we have going on here currently? So we have 20 going on here. Let me see. Let me see the amount of space and whether we can sacrifice something here. So we have 26 here. So we're going to drop this down to 20. Like so cool. Then now we can now bring this one up. So that will give us like more space to work with. So this is 18 already. So just change the height minus 2. So that should give us 20. I'll just change the height. Oh, you can see this 24, this 14, 24. Okay, so this 20 now. And then we have 130 to the bottom, 128. So I still need to reduce this by 2. Alright. Now then I need to take this one up. So I've set it to auto layout size easier for me that way. Okay. So and then we have amount left. So what I'm going to do is instead of 17, I can drop this one to 12. So and then do the same stuff here. So just going to place this like so. So I'll just duplicate this right, and then take amount left, cut it by pressing Ctrl X on my keyboard so that goes away. Then paste it. Let me just write amount left, and then delete this, and then add 40,000. 40,000 naira. Okay, cool. Now, if you're having issues putting the naira sign right, so the quick fix to which you can do. So all you just need to do is like go to Google, just type naira sign. Alright, so I'm not really sure whether this form factor is supposed to go. We're just going to give it a try. So I'm going to press Ctrl C. I've taken that, and then I'm just coming back here, and I'm pasting it in place. Wow, it works. So we're just going to align it and then just change it like that. So we're going to do that for everything. So I'm just going to go ahead to fast forward it. I don't have to go through the stress of saving, watching, designing everything. So now what I'm doing is I'm trying to see variations of what I can do to make sure that it stands out, right? So I'm still going to do that elevator kind of stuff, right? Just like what we have. I'm just going to borrow this very quickly. Take that color code and so look looking like it's gonna work already, then I'm just gonna just give this that radio, so that's that playful vibe we're going with already. So let's give this, we just go all the way to the highest, then 16. Alright, so let's select this two again, so, and then taking the drop pattern and selecting it, so that should stand out like a lot more better. Cool, so this stands out like a lot more better, right? So you can see it clearly stand out from every other item, but now it's taking like some attention away from this and every other thing. So since we work with 16, why don't we use 11? So every, like, just all the forms of elevation that we have going on here, so something that doesn't take too much attention but also works like appropriately, right? So we have 16 here, so let's just change it back to 8. No, not 8, we used 8 before, so 9 or 11 should be okay. Also going to select this 2 and then pick our color, pick our eyedropper tool and pick it. Cool. So this works like very very well. So it stands out, you can see everything that's working and we are good to go. Okay, so and then the last one on the list, right, is this. So still going to drop the eyes, I think 10 should be fine. Okay, then let's make sure that this is 20. So this 17, 1, 2, 3, and whatever space that you have going on there. Okay, it's actually fine. Or better still, you can do one, so you can just put this 2 inside a single auto layout and then just distribute them, so let us just have this vertical spacing, right? So it's all equal. Okay, cool. So, so now what you have to do, you have to make sure that this actually aligns. So I'm going to press Shift R on my keyboard to bring up the ruler, and then I'm going to do this like so, and then close this one up a bit. So, and also do the same thing on this other side. So we don't make sure that one of them is actually like very correct, and then you use that one to follow that pattern. Okay, so this is now what we have. So next thing is, I notice is that we have this space in here, right? So this is 8. Okay, so what I'm just do that, I actually prefer this one like looking a lot more closer to this. So I'm just going to run it by 2 pixels. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's like 3 pixels in the space. So I make this one 4 and then it has 12 here, so that it has this kind of visual balance. Okay, okay, now finally let's start fixing the contrast, and then we'll now change this visualization and visualization um, map that we have here. Okay, and so what you can do is that you can actually take this, right, this your actual dark mode primary color, right, and then open up the color designer if you're looking for something close to black or more of like to have that kind of white feel. Okay, so you're going to select color designer like so, then click outside and click again, and it should be able to pop up like the actual colors that you can use. So what you can do is that you can like bump it up all the way to say 20, and then to give this number of colors, right, that you can work as your neutrals. Okay, for what's it called now, or you can just take like a gray, just pick like any form of gray, like any, literally any form. So this for your background, right? But if you're working like text, so you probably want to use something close to gray, because gray is actually like work better. And then the human eyes, right, yeah, especially the cones, we have the cones and the rods. So the cones actually work better with blue light, is with blue light. So that's why I always recommend that when you're working with your grays, and remember blue light text, right, we tend to read a lot of text on interfaces. So what you want to do is that you want to heighten that part. So the best thing to do is that whenever you're going to pick your gray, just take it somewhere to something blue like so, and then take it to what, just something gray. Okay, so it's something gray, it's like this. Anywhere you want to pick it, it's fine, right? Just pick something gray that you can actually like stand up and start from, right? And then remember the process of what we had before going on here. So this is your primary color, right? I'm going to select, I'm just going to lay this on top this like so. And just reduce this a bit, bring it to the front and to front. And so drop this down, like I said earlier, maybe 5%, 10%, whatever you're trying to achieve, right? So say probably 5%, something going on like this, right? Or 10%. So 5% is fine for this color because this color is like very, very, very intense. It's a very high color. So I'm going to take this, take my hydrobar to experiment. So I'm going to select this, right? Press my hydrobar to the letter I on my keyboard and select this, right? So this is going to be like my starting point for my grades now. Okay, so I'm going to pull up my color designer. So just notice that once you have your primary color, right, it makes it a lot easier to pick your neutrals, it makes it a lot easier to pick your blacks and so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm just going to crank this up all the way to 20, like so. So you want to do, so we work it, so you want to do tints or shades. So basically I'm going to work with shades, right, and then crank this up all the way up. Okay, like so. And then now I have like these beautiful colors I can work with for my dark mode, right? So all these kind of colors I'm just gonna absolutely avoid them, right? And then take color from here all the way to here, depending on what I'm gonna achieve. So cool, cool, cool. So now what I'm just gonna do next is just gonna copy it, like so, and then so see all these colors here like this. Now I'm just gonna avoid them because they're like way too black for me, and I don't want to do that. So I just want to take this, okay, and then paste in place. Uh, so let me close this. Yeah, this for now. Cool. So now let me just try and experiment again. So I'm going to take like this fourth one. So this is more like an experimentation, right? And that's what you can do to see which one works well, and so that your UI, what do you call it, your color contrast, you are going to use the plugin you're going to use does not flag it. So just make sure that it's well right and properly done. So you can see that this actually like works a lot better than what we had going on before. So uh, I'm just going to take this. So this is like, I think this is the color code we have here. So let me say that is the right one and then we can move on. So let me just put it in place again. A, B. So we have A8. That's this is one we took now for the first elevation. So and then we can move over to go and work on others. So I'm just going to select all of this like so. Okay, so let me just re-add the fuse and then change everything back to this. Okay, so now the next thing is, okay, I didn't work on this, so let me change it back. Okay, so now the next thing is to work on the next items, right, that are actually like very, very good. So this one is, so I still need to change this. So I'm going to change this back to 100, right? So you can see how it stands out, right? So I'm still going to use the same one I used for it there. Okay, so it looks like now it's like it's dipping in. So what I can do is that I can go ahead to use, so since this is one I used last, right, I can use this one above it, like just 2 steps above it. Okay, I'm gonna take that. So because it's very close to white, but it has that highlight of both neutral and as well as the orange color that you have going on. Okay, so I'll probably just take the first one. So just take this first one and then you should be good. So not going to give you like a pure white, but it's still going to stand out properly. Okay, so we have that for that. And then now the next thing is all of this. So I'm going to fix that. So that still has this kind of visual hierarchy. So this time I'm going to take it somewhere beneath that. Okay, so probably this. You can see I'm just taking the colors and I'm just putting in place. So this is more like experimental stuff, but You want to make sure that you have like a definite amount of colors that you use so that you can preset it, and then your developers too can also preset those colors, and then they can always call it whenever necessary. So it's usually you don't have like too many colors going over the place, and then you don't have a specific pattern for each and every one of them. So I think that works, right? So, and I'm going to do the same thing for every other item I think that has this kind of pattern too. So I'm just going to put that in place. Okay, so let's see. So let me select all of these, and then take the color that is this one and then put in place. Good. Okay, I think it works. So I'm just going to select this, and so instead of this 15% vibe that you have here, you have this now. Change this to 100. Okay, so this one too, I'm still going to change it. So then drop this one down. So we have 20 going on here. So drop down to 16. So now just edit this a bit for this live. Just adding like more text for this live. Okay, for this live. Cool. Let me see. Okay, I've not even fixed this height of this one, so I need to fix that. Okay, then what again? Okay, so we've done the editing. So just made these ones that are like pure white now. So we just need to fix that. So I'm going to use the same. So instead of taking like that first one, I'll probably use this one. Okay, so just change all of the whites. So anyway, you have like white going on. Just change that. How can there be eight? Maybe it's 100%. 100%. Drop this down. No, no. This is this one. Awesome. So our dark mode is already coming together. Okay. So just that I don't really like this. Okay, so I don't like this your chart, right? What I can do, okay, is to instead of trying to like take a lot of stuff right now, I'm just gonna put it back there, okay. But this time around, so I'm gonna remove this totally, okay. Then the next thing I want to work on is having these little lines. So hopefully I can remove these little lines.